what happens when people stand up and demand more, demand fairness, demand justice, demand to be a part of things and not just cast it aside. I'm so proud to live in a democracy where every voice is heard. We need to ensure we are in workplaces where every voice is heard. Well, I tell you, you've got the support of everyone here in Michigan.
Thank you.
We'll ensure that as the days go forward, we've got your backs. We've got to be clear, this isn't going to be easy. Change never is. But we know our cause is just, right? We know we've got great leaders here, right, that are standing up for all of us. So everyone you're going to hear from today has got your backs. We're standing with you, and we know together we are going to change this world.
Thank you.
So let's get it done. Let's keep fighting. And now I'm going to bring up some other great leaders in our state. I'll turn it back to Shawn. I don't know. But we're going to fight. We're going to bring up some more folks. We're going to stand with you. We're going to win. Right? We're going to win. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long we need to stand together, we will lock arms and say, solidarity wins. All right, thanks, guys.
Are we fired up? So what's the name of this strike? We are what? We are what? Okay, so I bring it to the stage. Name. They call her Big Gretch. Our governor. Gretchen Whitmore to the stage. Put your hands together.
All right, UAW brothers and sisters, I'm glad to be with you. Let's affirm things that we all believe in. Number one, Michigan was built by the working people, right? Number two, unions built the middle class. And we all do better when we all do better, amen? And that's what today is about. Building a brighter future where every person can succeed. Learning from our legacy that this is the state that put the world on wheels and assembled the arsenal of democracy while still building the middle class and making sure every person had a path to prosperity, right? So we are living those values. Together, we repealed right to work. We reinstated prevailing wage, and we rolled back the retirement tax. Come on, retirees, I want to hear you. And we've secured 36,000 auto jobs and made record investments in education, infrastructure, housing, workforce development, and them damn roads, right? Because we all want the same thing, our chance at a good life, a fair shot. We all want to be able to make it in Michigan, for us and for our families. And we are all on Team Michigan. So, we will continue to fight to ensure that every worker is treated with dignity and respect. And that Michigan continues to lead the world. So I am here with you, my brothers and sisters from the UAW. I love you, I respect you, and I stand with you.
She does without someone by her side. That person we see often in my region, Region 1A. But I will tell you, it is my great honor to introduce not only the Lieutenant Governor, my friend, Gerlin Gilchrist.
When I say union, you say strong. Union! 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 Union built Michigan. Not only built the middle class, but delivered everything that's valuable to families in America. And what you're fighting for, all of us are fighting for. This moment right here is about solidarity and standing tall together, because our futures are connected. We know that what is great for the middle class is great for Michigan. We know that what is fair in the workplace is fantastic for Michigan. We know that what is good for the UAW is good for America. And that is why y'all are fighting so hard. We know that this industry can work for every one of us, those who work at the company and those who run the companies. That is why we are standing together, and I want you to know that this administration, y'all heard from my partner Gretchen Whitmer, we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that every person can make it in Michigan and be their best. And that means you have to be supported at home and at work. That means you have to know that the people and the manager will stand with you, as well as your leaders who are elected government will stand with you. So when I say union, again, you say strong! Union! Strong! Union! Strong! Union! Strong! Stand tall for Michigan, everybody. Thank you. God bless the UAW.
What's going on? You guys are ready to rumble now, aren't you? We're in it, baby. This is what happens when corporations don't take care of the people. I'm up here right now to introduce somebody that's one of the best warriors in the battle against the corporate class and the billionaire class. It's time that politicians in this country pick a side. You know, we've been accused of causing a class war. Class war has been going on for 40 years in this country. The billionaire class has been taking everything, and the working class has been left scraping paycheck to paycheck, just trying to survive. It's time to put an end to that class war. And it's time to pick a side. Either you're with the billionaire class or you're with the working class. So it's my pleasure to introduce one of the strongest allies we have in labor, one of our biggest allies for economic and social justice for everybody. He's a lifelong warrior in the fight against the corporate class, kicking ass against the billionaire class. Chair of the Senate Labor Committee, UAW Family and Friends, I'm proud to introduce Senator Bernie Sanders. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you, UAW. Thank you for inviting me, and it is an honor for me to be here with you today. And let me thank the UAW for standing up not only for your own members, but for the working class of this country. The fight you are waging here is not just about decent wages and working conditions and pensions in the automobile industry. It is a fight to take on corporate greed and tell the people on top this country belongs to all of us, not just a few. There is a reason why a recent Gallup poll had 75% of Americans supporting the UAW. They are sick and tired of an economy in which the rich get richer while working families struggle and the most desperate sleep out on the streets. So what this struggle is about here in the Midwest is a demand that we finally have an economy that works for all of us, not just the few. And I want to do something, I want to say a few words about something you don't see much about on TV or in the halls of Congress. And that is what is going on in the American economy today and what has gone on for decades. Believe it or not, that at a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality today, weekly wages for the average American worker are lower today than they were 50 years ago. In other words, despite a massive increase in worker productivity in the automobile industry and in every sector of our economy, despite the fact that CEOs now make 400 times on what their average worker makes, despite record-breaking corporate profits, despite corporate America spending hundreds of billions on dividends and stock paybacks, the average American worker today is worse off than he or she was 50 years ago. Brothers and sisters, that is exactly what this strike is all about. And that is why every worker in America, white collar, blue collar, in between, has got to stand with the UAW in your struggle for justice. In America today, while we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of this country, you got 3 people on top owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society. It's sick. Despite all of that wealth, brothers and sisters, and you know this well, 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. And that means that every day they are living under the incredible stress. They're worried about paying the rent. They're worried about putting food on the table. They're worried about being able to afford to go to a doctor when their kid gets sick. They're worried about the high cost of childcare. They are worried about whether they'll ever be able to send their kids to college. I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, and I know a little bit about that. This is the richest country in the history of the world, and families in America, families in the automobile industry, should not have to live with that kind of stress. And let me tell you, and Shawn has made this point over and over again, in the last 50 years there has been a massive redistribution of wealth. Problem is, it's gone in the wrong direction. Instead of going from the top down to the bottom, it's gone from the bottom up to the top. And what this strike is about, and what workers are standing up all over this country for, is we're going to reverse that trend. If the ruling class of this country wants a redistribution of wealth, we're going to give it to them. And one of the reasons I'm so proud to be in Detroit today with the UAW is all of you know your own history. You know that back in 1937, 86 years ago, your grandparents stood up and helped transform this country. With incredible courage, they took on
the corporate greed of their day, the power of the large corporations, and they helped pave the way, creating a middle class in America. That's what the UAW did in 1937. And here we are today, in 2023, 86 years later. And once again, the UAW is helping to lead the effort to rebuild and grow the middle class of America. Thank you very much. Just among friends, I would like to say a word to the CEOs of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. Understand, folks, understand, CEOs, the enormous financial sacrifices your workers have made over the years. It is time for you to end your greed. It is time for you to treat your employees with the respect and dignity they deserve. It is time to sit down and negotiate a fair contract. Now I say to Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, last year you made over $29 million. Since you became CEO 8 years ago, you have made over $200 million in total compensation. And I say to Ms. Barrow, do you have any clue what it's like for one of your workers to try to survive on $17 an hour, which is the average starting wage of an automobile worker, $17 an hour? Do you know, Ms. Barrow, what it's like to try to raise a family, put food on the table, and pay rent when you're making $20 an hour? And I say to Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, Mr. Tavares, last year you received a 22% pay raise. And now you make over $25 million in total compensation. Do you know, Mr. Tavares, what it is like to be classified as a temp? And despite working year after year, you remain a temp, receiving wages and benefits significantly lower than your brothers and sisters doing the same exact work. Mr. Tavares, do you have any clue what that is about? And I say to Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, Mr. Farley, last year you made nearly $21 million in total compensation. And my guess is that when you retire from your job, you're going to have a great pension, golden handshake, and all kinds of benefits. Do you have any clue as to what it's like to be a worker getting older, having worked your entire life, and not having any money in the bank as you prepare for retirement? And let us all be very clear. I know sometimes the media has, to say the least, not been as clear as it might be on this. And let's be clear that what the UAW is fighting for is not radical. In the first half of 2023, The big three automakers made $21 billion in profits in 6 months, up 80% from the same time period last year. In other words, they're doing pretty good. Over the past decade, the big three made $250 billion in profits in North America alone. Last year, these companies spent $9 billion not to improve the lives of their workers, but to pay for stock buybacks and dividends to make their wealthy stockholders even richer. Meanwhile, while the CEOs and stockholders in the automobile industry made out like bandits, the workers who build the vehicles, you, are earning totally inadequate wages, and over the last several decades have fallen further and further behind. All of you know that there was once a time when a union job in the automobile industry was the gold standard for the working class in America. Well, we are determined to bring those days back again. We will not accept that over the last 20 years, the average wage for American auto workers has decreased by 30% after adjusting for inflation. You want to know why you're out on strike right now? That's the reason. Now, I read a lot in the media about how a strike is going to be bad for the economy. Well, let me tell you something about the economy. When you have auto workers who cannot afford to buy the cars they make, that is bad for the economy. When you have auto workers who can't afford to take out a mortgage to buy a modest home, that is bad for the economy. When you have auto workers who can't afford child care or to save up to send their kids to college, that is bad for the economy. When you have auto workers who can't afford prescription drugs, can't afford health care, that is bad for the economy. It is totally reasonable for auto workers to finally receive a fair share of the record-breaking profits that their labor has produced. It means that if the big three can afford to spend $9 billion on dividends and stock buybacks last year, they can afford to provide a decent COLA to auto workers so their wages keep pace with inflation. It means that the time is long overdue to end the disastrous two-tier system. It means finally ending the use of temporary workers. And very importantly, it means that every auto worker receives a decent pension plan so they can retire with dignity. It means that workers should have the right to strike when an auto company announces that they will be shutting down another profitable plant in the United States. And by the way, over the years, they've shut down 65 of those plants. But that's not all. It means that as we combat climate change, the existential threat of climate change, and try to make sure that this planet is healthy and habitable for our kids, that when the auto industry builds new electric vehicle and battery plants, it means that the workers in those plants become part of the UAW and receive the same wages and benefits as union members. Brothers and sisters, the CEOs of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, and their major stockholders on Wall Street have got to understand they cannot have it all. We refuse to live in an oligarchy. We refuse to accept a society in which so few have so much and so many have so little. Brothers and sisters, enough is enough. Let us stand together to end corporate greed. Let us stand together to rebuild the disappearing middle class. Let us create an economy that works for all, not just the 1%. And let us all, every American in every state in this country, stand with the UAW. Thank you very much.
Let's give it up to Bernie Sanders! And our international president, Shawn Fain. Now next, we're going to introduce some people that are putting in the hard work, the late nights, taking your demands to the table, and that is the National Negotiating Committees and the vice presidents that lead those committees. Now I'm going to turn it over to my good sister, my sister in solidarity, LaShawn English. So I like to bring to the stage the man is the VP over General Motors. And let's get a round of applause for Mike Booth.
ストライキに突入したアメリカの自動車メーカーの労働組合の組合員が集まって待遇の改善。
When I say, who are we, you respond.
ストライキに突入した労働組合。組合員が集まって待遇の改善を訴えています。
We share our likes, our dislikes, we express our differences, we have arguments and agreements. Just like our real brothers and sisters do. At the end of the day, we always have each other's backs. So I want to read to you an email I just received this morning. This is actually very heartfelt that this young man took the time to send out. So there was an email that I received this morning by a young man that it was a lot of passion for him to take his time to send this out. I work for GM Subsystems. This upcoming Saturday will be my 8th straight Saturday and 10th since summer shutdown. We're used and abused, taken advantage of, and I personally am exhausted. 1,000 hours already this year. I am tired, and so is my team. We are tired. We want to see our families. We want to be treated like people. Do what's right, not what's easy. He ended it with the words "in solidarity," and that means a lot. So he is physically and emotionally, he's tired. He wants a simple act of enjoying his family. His ask is not him being greedy or lazy or selfish. This brother is craving for something as simple as respect. Last night was the opening salvo taken by the UAW to wake up not only GM, Ford, and Stellantis, but all of corporate America. The middle class of America are feeling exhausted, frustrated, and held down. It's our time to stand up. So on behalf of the entire UAW GM department, the negotiation, we're honored to be here with you. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you all.
Okay, let's hear for the Mike. You gotta get a hand clap for Mike. Now coming to the stage, this little short guy here. Come here. He's Mr. Lassie, I have to say. Warrior. He is over Come on up,
Hey, we're going to start like first thing.
大勢の国民が集まって国民の改善を訴えてい
The
ます。
only strength we have is you. You're the strength of this whole thing. We have finally come together and tell everybody we belong, we deserve. This is my National Bargaining Committee. Strong people, real good people. You know, we sat down the other day and we went around the room and talked about our experiences in bargaining. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted everybody to understand we all matter to each other, right? So now I want to say a couple things. I know we don't do this, but I want to say real right? Now, our contracts are offering. Let me offer. It's the land. It's the land. They want to use more supplementals than they have. That's a good. Right? By the way, they let you a couple more seconds. So let me. It's all, you said it. You said it. It's all bullshit. 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 Let me say this. Jim Farley said that we are trying to negotiate for $300,000 for everybody. Bullshit. Mary Barra says, hey, we've given them everything we can give them. There's nothing more to give. Bullshit! Bullshit! Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I go, just remember this. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock.
That's right. First of all, I do want to make sure I say thank all the negotiators. I do want to make sure we say that. I want to say thank you. So please give a loud round for the negotiators. We got one more team. These guys have been putting in the work. They have been putting in the work. But I want to give the mic to my sister, Laura Dickerson, and she's going to introduce the next man of the hour. So here we go. Laura Dickerson to the mic. Well, let me say this. This is my honor. This next team and this next vice president needs no introduction. I told you earlier I have the only Ford plant in the country on strike. And this man, who by the way, was my boss at one point in time. He didn't know what he was doing, but I think he did something right. But I love him. I know the negotiators love him. And I know all of the members at Ford Motor Company love him. Vice President Chuck Browning. And the national negotiating team.
Let them hear you. While they're sitting on their asses, let them hear them in Dearborn.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of our members, not just our members at UAW Ford, but our members at UAW Stellantis, UAW General Motors, that are on the picket lines today. Let them hear you. And I want to thank all of our 150,000 memberships strong that are out there fighting for respect and a decent standard of living and the right to retire with dignity and to have fair work rules. Let them hear you here in Detroit. And I want to thank everybody here today. This is a historic moment in the UAW. We all remember the sit-down strike and the challenges to organize in the early days of our union. And we stand here today, decades later, fighting for our future, for the future membership, and for our current members to get the dignity and respect and fair hand that we deserve. And with the leadership of our president, Shawn Fain, we will stand up until we get what's fair. Behind me is the UAW Ford bargaining team. Oh yeah, we'll go. So we bark. Every morning we bark. Every night we bark. But I gotta tell you, they've been working day and night. They've been relentless. We have made some great progress over at Ford, but not the progress that we need to properly take care of the members. We've made good progress, but we have far to go. This team, I can't tell you how proud I am of them. There's not a minute that goes by that they're not arguing, speaking, demanding on behalf of our members. It's really incredible to see.
Thank you.
We've been a well-oiled machine, we've been strategic, and we've been hard. You have some fans over there, some late applause. I want to make one comment. Our CEO over at Ford Motor Company has been doing a lot of chirping in the media. He's been airing his grievances with the process. He has an issue that the bargainers aren't behaving like the peasants he believes they are, and taking the scraps and taking things that he thinks in our best interest, which he's pretty proud of. He's been advertising what he thinks is a great agreement all over the place. And I want to send this message. You can chirp, you can complain, you can think that you are being treated with an unfair hand, but that does not take away your responsibility to sit down at the bargaining table and hear our members' demands and figure out a way to creatively meet those demands. I don't know who the hell he's bargaining with in the media, but he ain't bargaining with us. And I can assure you, when the company sits down and sincerely wants to resolve our issues, the members' issues, then we will prevail and we will have the agreement that we all deserve, and we will get back what's been taken away from us for the last 13 years with our heavy handedness. We move forward, untiring. We will not yield. We have not taken one damn concession through this negotiation. Not one. And we are going to stand up, because it is our time to stand up. I can be very long-winded, as you know.
Take your time.
But I'm not going to be long-winded today. The committee's been working hard. I know you have all been supporting us. It means so much. It's so inspiring to us. I feel fresh as a daisy because of all of your energy that you're sharing with me. But every morning we meet, and every evening now we meet, 10 a day. And we meet, we go through the course of what we expect to take place during the day. And we always end the meeting by saying, what are we going to get? We're going to get our shit. So I want you all of you, to be our extended bargaining committee. And I'm going to end my remarks with this. What are we going to get? Get our shit. Get our shit. Get our shit. Get our shit. Thank you very much. I love you.
the most powerful women in the UAW about to hit this stage. She's the highest woman of the UAW, but she minds that money. I tell you what, she minds that money. She has done a lot of wonderful things. And I want to introduce our Secretary Treasurer, and hold on, she's also the Vice President of the TOP, the strike that's going down the street, the TOP. So my sister, my friend, Secretary Treasurer, Margaret Mott. Let's hear it. Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. Look, no matter where you are today, we are united in a common cause. That's right, yes. Not just striking auto workers in the big three plants. They're not the only ones out here. But solidarity across all sectors of this union. Like our brothers and sisters on strike at local union 997 in Newton, Iowa. Local 2326 in Edison, New Jersey. That's you? All right. Here we go, right over here. We are proud to support our Blue Cross Blue Shield members who are on strike this week. Now, I want you to hear me when I say this. Be very, very quiet, because you may think that you heard wrong, but just pay attention. It takes 22 years to make top pay at Blue Cross Blue Shield. Bullshit. Think about that. 22 years. 2 and 2. 22 years. Top pay. Blue Cross has been outsourcing our union jobs to contractors and vendors. Boo. Y'all know. We need to get our jobs back. Now, we'll be marching right down the street to support our Blue Cross Blue Shield brothers and sisters today. Today, tomorrow, every day when you're in the neighborhood and you see them out there, support, please. Do any and everything that you can. We all need your support. We demand that employers recognize and reward the immense contributions of our union workers. Whether your collar is blue, whether your collar is pink, white, purple, green, or anything in between, we are united, strong as a union. One union. One union. Now let me say, it has been an honor and a duty to oversee our strike fund. We have constructed a war chest ready and prepared to support our members throughout every step of this fight. Entrenched corporate greed harms all of us. Just this morning, Vice President Boyer and I and our staff, we went to Toledo Jeep, and we were there when they walked out. Toledo Jeep in the house. What did we say last night when we were standing, or this morning? Dude, this morning, when we were standing out there, no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. That's what we said this morning, y'all. Corporations have made record profits because of our massive sacrifice. I stand with all the working class who deserve a better quality of life. I will be with you as we fight. In this fight, we will continue to fight. Thank you very much. on strike. They are. But ISA is also out as well. We're working on those issues. And I want those people from ISA to know we got your back. We're working on it. And it is my great honor to introduce someone that I often refer to as my BFF, best friend forever. We were together late last night over at Local 900. We talk almost every day because she is the congresswoman in Congressional District 6. Woo! She comes from a legacy, right? She's the wife of John Dingell, and her name is Debbie Dingell.
Chuck was still there. God, I love Chuck. And he wanted to go out. He wanted to see you. And I said, Chuck, can John come? Would it be okay? And he said, welcome. That was the last public place John Dingell went before he died. And he's watching from above. He's not from down there, according to that, you know, that asshole. And he's talking to God, and he's saying, these workers need our support. I did say thank you, LaShawn, that I was also in yours. But I'm going to be brief because you've had a lot of speeches. But a lot of people are looking at you. Look at the cameras back there. Takes a while to get people to pay attention. You know, they're not in the union halls or working with you on the ton of projects that everybody does. But you need to tell people, you need to put your face on what this is about. That when the companies were in trouble in 2008, 2009, we didn't want them to go bankrupt. So who gave? The workers gave their COLA. You haven't had COLA since 2008 or 2009, and your real wages are less than what you were making in 2008 or 2009. Tell it. Tell them you have less buying power than you did then. Tell them about the tiers. People do not understand tiers. They don't know that some of you have been temporary employees for 8 or 10 years and still don't have benefits. They don't know that 2 or 3 of you are working on that assembly line doing the same job and making significantly different wages.
The message from local and national leaders coming up in a live report.
And you want job security. And lastly, I want to say this.
Okay, so
I'll be damned if real sees our leadership, our innovation and technology to any other country in the world. We are the best workers in the world. And as we transition to I have Rashida's like, I always blame my bad language on Rashida.
Yeah, that bullhorn.
But she says I swear more than she does. I'm a Catholic girl. But anyway, I love you all. We're all going to be there. You know, I was in 900 last night. I was in 900 Sunday. I love 900. I love 600. I love 3,000. And I'm going to start and get in trouble. Stay together. United we stand. Have each other's back. Put the human face on it. And we'll come out of this a competitive industry with workers being the backbone of America. Thank you.
Okay, so y'all heard her. So I want to understand what she said. Tell your story. Also, hashtag behind it, and it should say what? Well, you can say that too, but you can put the bullshit behind the stand up. So please make sure she's right. Tell your story. But use that hashtag. Use that hashtag, please. Stay on it. I love it. We just got a new hashtag. We don't want to go there. We want to keep it clean. We want to keep it safe. Stand up. So next coming to the stage, from the moment I got elected, this young woman called me on the phone, and I actually didn't even know what it was. But I tell you what, the moment we got on the phone, we started talking about working people. Yes. I mean, the moment we're talking, and I'm being honest, we're talking about women. So I don't know, no one's talking about this subject enough. But again, Shawn put some things on the proposal about when we have babies. Women in the crowd, do you get tired of going back to work in 6 weeks? I don't hear any raise. What's up? 6 weeks is not enough, right? You don't want to leave your baby when you after 6 weeks, right? Daycare is hard, right? Okay, but we also put in a proposal for you men too. So you guys get to stay home with those babies. Okay? So those are some of the things that we're writing for. But this young lady that's come to the stage, we've been corresponding about that. I'm a little too old to be having babies, but I remember what it was like. But I tell you what, it was very hard to leave my son when he first was born. So I do appreciate that Shawn did put this on the proposal, and she's going to help us. So U.S. Stevens, so please do your hands up.
UAW? Because I sure as hell can feel the feels. We are standing up for working people. Let's hear it for the women of labor. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for my director, LaShawn English. I took the bus here from Region 1. It was a good bus ride. We were honking the whole way. And Laura Dickerson, she might be running Region 1A, but she lives in my district. And we are so proud of our friends at Local 900. Thank you for standing up last night. The world was watching. UAW, I got a message for you. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you are standing right now. Because people are going to look back on this moment when we have said no more mistreating the hard-working people of this country. That's gone on too long. I'm going to tell you something. I'm in D.C. and they're talking about a shutdown. That hurts working people. We have got to give people the dignity for their fair share of work. I'm sick of these corporate profits ballooning. I was there during the auto rescue. I saw that deal get cut. I saw the concessions. We had the words GM in bankruptcy in a sentence. It was unheard of. And the working people stood up to save an industry. Folks, you have been working your ass off through a recession, through a pandemic. And I'm going to tell you something.
You know, in D.C., when the Texans start tapping me on the shoulder and saying, how you doing it in Michigan, you know you're doing something right. The steady hand of hard work, rising through any challenge. That's what it's all about in Detroit. That's who we are. They cut us down. They say, who's going to shut off the lights? We turn back on the lights. And that's what you're doing. What you're doing right now is not easy. I'm an elected representative, but I am your representative. You are heard, you are seen, you are loved. We're standing here today. It's not just about today. It's about the tomorrow and every tomorrow after that. So from this stage and this moment and this great leadership that we see coming out of every single one of you, back to the halls of Washington, D.C. That's where we're going. I'm proud of you, my friends. I love you. I'm here to tell your story, and I'm here to see us to the other side of this. I can't wait to celebrate when that contract gets signed. Because it's going to be a contract of beauty. It's going to be a contract about the wages. It's going to be a contract about your justice and equity. We're together. I love you. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
All right. She came up before I can introduce her. She said it's her song. So another one of our Congress people, but let me say this. We've talked a lot about Local 900 because they're on strike. But Debbie, I call her Debbie, she's my BFF, and Rashida, who is my mama bear, we were down at Trenton Engine. Shout out to Trenton Engine. We had a great rally there to bring attention to the fact that they need product. That's what today is about, making sure we get jobs for the future, and we can't do that alone. So I want to take time, and before, there's a lady over here who keeps shouting out retirees. Let's show our retirees some love. We love our retirees. So without further ado, I introduce Congresswoman of the 12th District in Michigan, Rashida Tlaib. This is where we birth movements, folks. Welcome to the most beautiful, blackest city in the country, the city of Detroit. You know, I think it's a blessing that the negotiations is right here in the heart of the city that was part of the labor movement before the labor movement even existed. It was where we fought to make sure we could have unions in the workplace. This is where every corner is a reminder of us fighting for civil rights. And I want to say this to you. Every single transformative thing that we've ever been able to do in our country is when the streets demand it. When you all uprise and make sure that you are respected and valued. None of you should be living literally in the plant for 7 days a week. None of you. It is unbelievable that, you know, when my dad started, and he only had 4th grade education when he started at Flat Rock Ford. And when he got on that line and became part of the UAW family, he felt human dignity for the very first time. He said,
on, y'all. You guys got rid of coal. You did everything you were supposed to do so you can keep them afloat. And now that you're all struggling, our retirees are struggling, now they want to turn their backs to you while they give themselves 300 to 4 times more in pay. And I got a message for Jimmy. Jimmy needs to stop talking to the press and get into the room and negotiate. And if Jimmy is so worried about the economic health of his company, then maybe he shouldn't have took all that $20 million pay. He shouldn't, if he really cared. Maybe it's time for them to take the hit, because you all did it in 09 and you deserve respect. So what do we want? End COLA. Say it with me. What do we want? End COLA. When do we want it? Now. And if we don't get it, shut it down. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get another round of applause there? Come on. Woo! So I'll be remiss that I did not bring 2 guys up here that travel pretty far. One not too far. He's right next door. Oh, okay. I don't know what that's all going on there. But I'd like to bring to the stage. Oh, there's 2 people. Three. No, 2 right now. 2. Oh, 2 people I want to recognize. Dave Green, Region 2B. I know we got 2B in the house. Woo! I'm not enough y'all where we did have a busload of members that came up here all the way up to Michigan to support this. And here's the guy for the hour, Brandon Campbell. Woo! Region 4. So they're going to give a quick second of words of encouragement for the master at command. So we're going to start with Brandon.
Go ahead, buddy. Hey, you've been standing out here long enough. It's time to hit the streets, brothers and sisters. We've been crying long enough. So what do you say? No more tears. 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 Brothers and sisters, you hold the line. That's your job. One day longer, one day stronger. One day longer, one day stronger. One day longer, one day stronger. All right, stay solid, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, brother. So last night we walked out 6,000 people from Stellantis. Region 2B. No justice, no Jeeps. No justice, no Jeeps. No justice, no Jeeps. No justice, no Jeeps. That's right. That's right. Hey, and I've been doing this for a minute. And for a long time, they used to come to me and tell me, I said, what is this contract? We got to fight to live another day. Have you ever heard that? Yeah. Fight to live another day? Today is our day, people. Today is the day. God bless y'all.
All right. Is everybody ready to hit the streets? Yeah. Well, not before we hear from someone special. Somebody who did something historic. Somebody who took the big 3 out one by one. Somebody who's bargaining for the middle class, who's bargaining to end tears, who's bargaining for a strong contract, who's bargaining to end COLA. Our international president, Shawn Fain.
You can try to read the lyrics off of this paper before I lay them. But you won't take the sting out these words before I say them. That's right. All right. So good afternoon, UAW family and friends. And hello again to the Big Three. Can you hear us now? It's my absolute honor to stand here with you today on the doorstep of another proposed casualty of corporate greed. As we speak, the company, Ford Motor Company, wants to shut down this training center now. It's one more casualty in the long line of buildings that just keep on getting shut down. Of the 65 plants the Big Three have shut down in the last 20 years. It's got to stop. Looking out at this sea of red shirts today, I see power. Power of a united class. Right now, at Ford's Michigan Assembly Plant. Right now, at Stellantis' Toledo Assembly Plant. And right now, at GM's Wentzville Assembly Plant. Around 13,000 of our members are on strike. And depending on what happens as we continue bargaining, more may be joining them really soon. For the first time in our history, we're on strike. Not just against Ford, not just against Chrysler, not just against GM, but all three. As we've said for months, nobody should be surprised. The target was the Big Three. And that's because all three have made record profits. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion. That's money that our workers, the work of our people, create. In the last decade, they made $250 billion. $250 billion. While our workers have went backwards. All three of the Big Three have price gouged American consumers. They've ripped off the U.S. taxpayer. And all three have nickel and dimed the American worker. All three have failed to recognize the contributions that our workers make. The sacrifices we've endured. You know, the retirement insecurity that over half of our workers don't have anymore. That's what you have to look forward to after you worked in the Big Three for 30 years. Yes. Knee replacements, shoulder surgeries, and no post-retirement health insurance, and no damn retirement security. We've created these profits, and these companies have forced our hand. You know, over the last 8 weeks, the CEOs didn't seem to be able to find the time to show up for bargaining. But in the last week, in the last 24 hours particularly, the CEOs and the executives have found a lot of time to be able to go on corporate news and talk the talk. And we all know what they say. They say they can't pay us a decent wage. But there's always money for another stock buyback. They say they can't provide a dignified retirement. Bullshit. But there's always another special dividend for Wall Street. They say they can't provide a cost of living allowance. Bullshit. But there's always millions and more for the CEOs to bump their salaries up. You know, Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, was on CNN just this morning. And they, of course, gave her an 8.5-minute segment. And she said every management talking point you'd expect to hear. And in those 8.5 minutes, she made more money doing nothing than any auto worker in America makes in over 2 weeks. The day before that, Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, was on CNBC, sitting right over here. He said if they give us economic justice, it would bankrupt the company. He talked about how we can't pay auto workers too much because then public school teachers and firefighters would get left behind. I don't know where the hell he's been living, but public school teachers and firefighters, everybody's been left behind. Even paying us the shit that they pay us. That man made $21 million last year. In their economy, the CEOs get everything, and the working class gets shit on. In their economy, workers live paycheck to paycheck while the billionaires buy another yacht. In their economy, we make all the sacrifice and they take all the profit. In their economy, one of our workers would have to work 400 years to make what a CEO makes in 1 year. So we're going to wreck their economy because it only works for the billionaire class. You know, it's sad. Look what we've been through in the last 15 years. The banks get bailed out, and we get our homes foreclosed on. The big three get billions of our tax dollars to fund an EV transition. They got billions of dollars to get bailed out, while the workers got left behind. They want to use scare tactics now, saying we're going to wreck the economy. All the pundits are saying that now. All the media talking heads. It's going to wreck the economy if we get economic and social justice. We're not going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy. You know, I find it pathetic when they try to use scare tactics. They want to scare the hell out of everybody, not just our members, the working class in general. They want to make you think you don't deserve your fair share. They want you to be afraid because they're afraid. They're afraid because they see their system where the billionaires keep everything crumbling. And we're not afraid. You know, I say this a lot, and I love this quote by Malcolm X when he talked about freedom back in the civil rights fight. When he said, when a person tells you they believe in freedom, but in the next breath they'll tell you what they won't do to get it, that person doesn't believe in freedom. And it's the same for us in our fight. We have to do whatever we have to do by any means necessary. We have nothing to fear. The only limit we have is the limit we put on ourselves. We've got to stop it. No limits.
Bring back the middle class.
Look around. You know who's scared? The corporate media is scared. The billionaire class is scared. And the big three is scared. I look around here, I see power. You bet. I see faith. And I see a working class that is fed up and fired up. I see working class people from all walks of life standing together. UAW friends and family, there's only one thing left to do. When I asked you if you were ready to rumble, you all said you were. You all know what we need to do, and now the whole world knows what we need to do. When they tell us to sit down, we stand up. they tell us to shut up, we stand up. And when they tell us to give up, we stand up. Are you ready to stand up? Then let's stay in the fight and let's go to it. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. This is Jordan. The rally has just ended. Hold on a second.
All right, UAW family, you ready to take the streets for justice? All right, some quick instructions. We're going to line up on Jefferson Avenue and march toward the convention center. We want you to follow the people in the yellow vests, our marshals. They're going to keep us safe and move us moving in the right direction. Are you ready to take these streets? All right,
So
start
they're
lining up on Jefferson Avenue, please. And in a minute, we're going to start marching toward the convention center.
So they're about to march towards the convention center where the Detroit Auto Show is happening. So I believe they're going to be basically rallying in front of the auto show, which is a big economic show in Detroit for the car companies. So we'll march with them. Smash that like button, share this live stream. If you can, sign up as a Status Coup member to help support this on-the-ground reporting. It makes a huge, huge difference. And we're going to follow them now. There's definitely, I would say, what would you say, like 400, 500 people? 500 people. Yeah, I would say about 450, 500 people are out here. I broke my back, by the way. I'll explain it later. They're in a sea of red shirts for solidarity, UAW shirts.
This is what they've been waiting for? You ready?
So right across there is where the Detroit Auto Show is being held. Thank you. What's your name? Come here for a sec. What's your name?
Susan Marinelli.
What'd you think of the rally, Bernie, Shawn, everything?
It was awesome. It was one of the best rallies I've ever been to in 25 years with the UAW. Shawn Fain is the best president we've ever had.
It seems like there's a much different energy going on, not just accepting the crumbs they offer.
No, this is an energy I've never seen. And I know that we need to get this contract, and we need to get back what we gave up in 2008.
And do you expect to see more plants as we go?
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yes. He's got a good strategic plan, and it's working. Never like before have I seen such a good plan in our strikes and to get back what we deserve. And also for our families and our communities.
And, you know, if these car companies think they're going to go bankrupt, maybe the CEOs should start giving back some of their millions.
Let's cut out some of that $1 million and give it back to the union members. Okay? You know what? Greed is what brings down America. It's the American workers that hold this country together.
And
we are the glue of the country, not these executives.
And who's the best media outlet covering this? Would that be us?
That would be you guys. Awesome. You guys are amazing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So I've had a couple people throughout the day come up and thank us. Obviously, we've been covering this for weeks. So let's follow people as they march over to the convention center. So like I said, you got hundreds of people out here. This was kind of like a I'd call it like a mini 2016-ish Bernie vibe. A lot of energy. I actually somehow got on the ground while Bernie was speaking and kind of shot the camera up. So we'll post that later. You'll see Bernie spit up his nose, and it's wonderful. We were at the Wayne Ford plant a little bit earlier. That plant makes the Ford Bronco, among other cars. And there was a lot of people out striking. So we spoke with people. That live stream is up. As you can see, they got United for a Strong Contract signs. They're chanting, "No more tears, no more tears." Tears is one of the biggest demands that the UAW has, which is to end the tears. I interviewed people who are making $32 an hour who have been here for 30 years, but newer workers who do the same job right next to them are making $16 an hour for the same exact work. So obviously that's not just. What'd you think of the rally? Did it have a lot of energy there?
Yeah, it was great. We got a lot of really intelligent people in our government that are trying to do the right thing in the face of all the people who are definitely not trying to do the right thing. So we appreciate them, and we just gotta, work together and stay strong. So,
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was a couple politicians that spoke I'm not a big fan of, shall we say, corporatists who like to show up and pretend to be friends of labor. Not naming any names. Haley Stevens, among others, but I won't focus on that. You see, end the tears, sign up for solidarity. Detroit is a union town. Can I ask you a question? What'd you think of the rally? A lot of energy.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a really good rally.
It seems like it's kind of different times now. The leadership is not kind of accepting the crumbs that have been offered in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, by the way, as I was walking up to the rally, a lot of, shall we say, aristocrats are in, like, ball gowns and dresses. I think there's, like, a swanky event attached to the Detroit Auto Show. I don't want to show too many of them, but they're in ball gowns and dresses, and this is the creme de la creme of society. I don't really know what event they're going to. I think it's something connected to the Detroit Auto Show. But let's just say they are not with labor or the unions here. So basically what's going on now is the UAW and the workers are going to rally right in front of the Detroit Auto Show, where obviously Ford, GM, Stellantis has a lot of their cars kind of on display.
We are the union! Mighty union!
What'd you think of the rally?
Oh, I'm loving it. So many here. Oh, there's got to be at least 1,000 people. I absolutely love it.
There's a different kind of energy at this event than previous union events I saw. Kind of let's burn down the house if we have to kind of energy.
They're very fired up. This is the best rally I've ever been to. When Shawn gets out there and speaks, or any of his IEB or any of his negotiators, I mean, they had us really, really riled up, and I think people are finally starting to believe in the union again. That's how I see this. When you think, Aaron?
What's up?
When you say they're finally starting to believe in the union again?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think there's been a lot of reform in the union, and it's great. I mean, I supported Shawn Fain, and I believe in him, and hopefully we can get a good agreement.
You know, it seems to me, the way people were talking, it's kind of bigger than just the auto industry. They're kind of fighting for all of the working class, you know, talking about kind of 30, 40 years of exploitation. It seems like what they're fighting for could kind of have ripple effects to other industries.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with that. I mean, you look at UPS and now you got us. So I do think there'll be a ripple effect, and we're here to support labor, and hopefully we can get a great agreement.
What do you think of, it seems all the CEOs all of a sudden were able to come out of hibernation and go on television this morning. And according to them, they've been working hard for weeks to try to get these greedy workers to make a deal.
We're told otherwise. We're told that they came to the table late. And, you know, you'd think they'd want to get out in front of this stuff, so not risk a labor stop, labor, going out on strike. But, unfortunately, they came to the table late, and now we have to do what we have to do. So,
do you expect to see other plants go out on strike over the coming days?
We hope not. Nobody wants to be on strike, but if it has to happen, President Fain and the bargaining teams will make that decision, and we'll do what we have to do out here. Nobody wants to strike, but in the end, we have to do what we have to do out here. So we just want a fair agreement. That's all.
And I was at the Wayne plant earlier, the Ford plant. Almost every person I talked to, 25 years, 30 years, they've been working here, and they haven't gotten any type of real raise in about 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and we in past contracts we wanted to get that stuff fixed, and for whatever reason we haven't been able to get it done. And it's a big issue in the plants, people not making the same wages, and equal pay for equal work. That's what we're out here for today, and hopefully we can get it.
Absolutely. What's your name again?
It's Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
So they're continuing to march Jefferson Avenue here. The car show is going on, which is a swanky event for the auto companies. Correct? The car show.
Correct. Yes, it is. And I'm sure this is good. This has got to put pressure on them. I mean, come on. We're right in front of the big GM building, the corporate building, walking around it on the auto show day. It's got to, come on.
And I'm assuming they don't like you pesky people outside the auto show. The auto show is kind of their little showcase of the year, correct?
Yes. And how dare the peasants do this? We're so beneath them. How dare we come out here and speak up? Stand up.
You're a GM worker in Toledo, so Toledo is one of the plants that went on strike. Can you talk about what's the mood there since they went on strike? Are they revved up and hoping it gets even bigger?
Well, I'm Toledo General Motors. It was actually Toledo Jeep that went on strike, and they were very, very psyched last night. I went up there to check them out, and they were they have tons of energy. They're ready for this. They're tired of being temps for, 5, 6, 8 years or more, trying to get converted over. And then Stellantis makes an announcement that they want no end to tears. They want no cutoff for them. They want to shut down 18 more plants. So, yeah, they're ready to fight. They've about had it. Stellantis says they've done it this time. I think, the threats they put out there, the working people, they're tired of hearing it.
And do you know if Stellantis' executive is back from his second vacation home in Mexico yet?
It is doubtful. He's probably still there sending his emails and whatnot, wearing his, $35,000 watch in his $2,000-$3,000 suit.
If you're not aware what I'm talking about, a couple weeks ago it came out that the head of bargaining for Stellantis was bargaining over margaritas at a bar in Mexico. Because he was on vacation for 2 weeks at his mansion in second mansion, in Acapulco, So that's kind of all you need to know about the caste system here in America. They're bargaining from their hammock, drinking margaritas. I mean, I'd love to do that, but
sending emails.
Yeah, sending emails. One finger. Yeah. And you could share, because I've talked to other workers today. This is literally backbreaking work. You've been injured on the job.
Yeah.
So you're demanding what you deserve, but also there's very few that retire without some type of pain or injury.
Well, and the fact that we're going to retire with no medical, no pensions or anything, that's That's pretty hard to swallow when you know you're going to give these companies 30 plus years and then walk out the door with absolutely nothing. We have no medical, no pension, nothing but our 401k, which is constantly disrupted when we go on strike, when we go out on layoff, when there's a retooling, we can't pay into it. So it cuts into our 401k total. They talk about COLA and whatnot, but, and I hate to keep saying it, but I need the world to hear me. You got Delphi.
This is the guy right here. This is the guy. I like what he says when he's on there. He talks the truth, and I like it.
I told you.
No, I'm serious. I want to watch this right now. Seriously, watch this moment. Watch this moment. This is for you to be on. No, this is for you. This guy is serious. I love you. I love what you say. You speak the truth and you stand up for the union. And I want you to put me on your show.
You're on right now.
Gabriel Burciaga, and you are the man. I'm glad you're here. Where do you live? Where are you from?
I'm in New York, but
okay, but you're here today.
I'm here today.
Thank you for being here.
We should all be here today.
This is the guy we listen to. She knows. This is my wife, Belina.
He sends it to me.
Does he get this excited about everything? Holy cow.
About you, because you guys, like I said, you guys speak the truth. You guys say what needs to be done. We have been without for so long. It's time. It's our time to get what we need. I work for Ford Motor Company. I've been there 25 years. I busted my ass, and I've given, and I've given, I've given. Now it's our time to get it.
Let me ask you, all these CEOs suddenly are on TV this morning. They're whining. Oh, we're going to go bankrupt if we give in to these workers. We can't compete, yada, yada, yada. Then why don't they give back some of their money?
That's what I want to know. You tell me. If they're making $29 million in 1 year, we don't make that in all the 30 years that we work. Right? So it's not an even playing field. We're the ones out there busting our ass. We're the ones doing the hard work, getting up early, driving far. I drive over an hour to work. There and an hour back. I put in 10 to 11 hours a day. We work 4 10-hour days with a little bit of overtime. I'm telling you, when I seen your show, I said, I'm going to talk to that guy one day. And that's for you to stay down here to get to me and put it on there so we can tell the people, you know what? We want our fair share, and this guy's going to put it out there for us because I just gave him $100. You just seen it right here. That was right here out of my wallet. That's from my hard work. So you can put it on there. I want to be on there, and I want everybody to hear what I'm talking
It's going to the company, not my bar fund, just to be clear.
No. We know what that's for. We know what that's for. I know what that's for.
You said something. This has been going on for 30 years.
Yes.
30 years.
Yes.
You guys gave back at least 10 to 15% of your wages a decade ago.
Yes.
So you're basically, if we want to be honest, their offer of 20% is only getting you kind of back to where you were 10 years ago.
See, we gave up stuff back in 08, 09. So we went backwards, then we come up. When they say, oh, look, we got all this stuff now. We didn't gain anything because we came back to where we were. So like you're here and you go back to New York and you come back to Detroit, what did you gain? You didn't gain nothing. You got to go somewhere else to gain something. Right? I know. Because I'm telling you, I'm telling everybody on this show, this is the guy right here. He's going to put it out, and this is the truth because this is what we need. This is our time. We're going to get it, and when the smoke, the clear is clear and the dust is gone, we're going to have a good contract. I believe it.
This two-tier system, it seems to me it's a way to keep you all divided.
Yes.
It creates animosity among workers, this and that.
Yep.
It seems they can obviously pay everyone the same, but it seems they want to keep it kind of like this tale of two workers for doing the same exact job.
Stand divided, we fall. If you divide the employees with money, you're going to have a lot of hostility. You're going to have a lot of people pissed off. You're going to have a lot of people mad. Would you like working next to me making half my wage? And it's not fair. If you're putting out the product, I'm putting out the product, pay you the same way they pay me. Now, I understand when you first start out, you're not going to be right at the top. I understand that. There's a progression that you got to take before you get there. I was 3 years before I got to top pay. I was okay with that. That was an okay progression. So I started at $13.92 and I went up from there. And I got to top pay in the 3 years.
Now it's 8 years.
Now it's 8. The company's trying to give us 4, Ford Motor Company, and you know, that's okay, but it's not good. It's just okay. So that's where we're at. But that's why we got leadership to take care of this stuff and get the stuff that we need, because it's time for the corporate greed to end. And it's time for us to stand up and wait. That's all we got to do is wait, because they're going to take care of the problem. They're going to take care of the problem, and they're going to present it to us, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to sign it whether I like it or not. Just because they give us an agreement doesn't mean it's over. We still have to come in and vote on that contract.
I just want to show you something, because you seem like not a shy guy.
No.
What does that number say at the top?
$24 billion.
That's a 9% increase from profits. That's $24 billion Ford made last year.
Yes.
9% increase from the year before. Yet the CEO went on TV today and said they wouldn't have money to invest. They wouldn't have money to compete. Yet they just gave more stock buybacks. And yet they just got a $9.2 billion loan from President Biden. Well, that seems kind of hard to believe if you made $21 billion.
I always say, the numbers don't lie. When you put two numbers together, 2 plus 3, it's not going to be 80,000. Same case with what you just showed me. The numbers do not lie. What they made doesn't, it's out there. There's no way and then they want to sit there and blow smoke up people's ass and try to say, oh, no. Well, we got to invest and we got to do that. I agree with investing, but invest in the people that have made you where you are. Invest in the people, because this right here, I sacrifice this all day, every day. When I'm going to work and I'm driving back and forth for over an hour to work and I'm standing there on my feet for 11 hours a day, you got to invest in me, because I'm investing my body, and I only get one. I only get one body and one mind.
Does he come home hurting?
Yes, he does.
Tell you,
yes.
I come home.
He comes home hurting.
Hurting.
Yes.
My feet hurt. My back hurts. My arms hurt. I'm sacrificing for the better. For the better. So that I can have one day, like the millionaires, sitting in their yacht, sitting in their nice homes. You know, don't get me wrong. I have a nice home. I don't have a freaking $1 million home. I don't have a $1 million yacht.
Oh, they have $1 million kind of cabin in the back of their homes. They got plenty.
Oh, no. Their little like family home in the back is better than my home. You know, I understand. But when you're sitting there living that good and you're not sacrificing your body and your mind and your time, and it's been on for so long, you get tired. You get tired. And that's why we're here where we're at today. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for what you say on your show. I've been just recently, I've been watching it. And that's why I wanted to show you. Not just say, you know what, I'm going to send you $100 one of these days. Because anybody can talk the talk, but not everybody can walk the walk. And I want you to know what kind of man I am. I took it out of my wallet. I couldn't find it. I don't know where my wallet went. She's like, got it. Good thing. I took it off.
She's taking it before you give it all.
That's all right. I took it out of my wallet to give to you right here on camera. I want to thank you and everything you guys do. Keep doing what you guys doing, and I'm going to keep supporting you guys. Thank you.
What's your name again?
Gabriel Burciaga.
Spell your last name?
Burciaga.
You really warmed my heart.
Hey,
you warmed my heart.
You guys warmed my heart when I seen your show, and I said, one day I'm going to see that. I didn't know it was going to be today. I didn't know you guys were here. But what I did, that was from the bottom of my heart. If I had millions like the millions, I would just kept on going. But I gave what I could give, and I want you guys to do as much as you guys can do out there. Keep it going. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now it's illegal to be in the street.
Thank you, sir.
Let me get a picture of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 4.
Thank you,
I
sir.
know who you are.
Thank
I
you.
seen the shirt.
Damn right.
I looked at your face and I
Damn
go,
right.
that looks like the guy I've been listening to. And I seen the coup. I said, I know who that guy
We're going to be here for a while, so thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. That's why we're on the ground. That's why we cover this as long as we do. Yes, hundreds of UAW workers. Before the rumors start, that $100 is for the company, not me. Thank you, sir. What's your name? Kyle. What'd you think of the rally? Obviously, the energy. It's awesome.
I love the fact that everybody came out and showed up for our cause, and the fact that we've got the Blue Cross Blue Shield workers. We had Teamsters at our rally this morning at MAP, and the fact that unions are working together and doing things together to help each other out to find a cause together. That's a beautiful thing to me.
Are you auto worker or Blue Cross?
I work for Michigan Assembly Plant Ford.
Okay. So Wayne, where we just were, we were just there in Wayne. And talk to me. I talked to so many workers there. It's just every worker. I wish I could actually afford the car I make. Yeah. It's really just kind of sad these days. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's really outrageous. Just they're basically stealing your labor at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the way that the CEOs and the higher ups in the company have been getting more and more. I mean, I understand that the higher ups get a higher percentage or whatever. That's how it works. But
it used to be 5 to 1, 10 to 1. Now it's 400 to 1.
That's a big discrepancy from what it used to be. There's no reason that it should be that much different. I mean, labor creates profit, not CEOs.
How long have you been working there at Ford?
I've been at Ford, I say 5 years, but I really started in 2017 before they laid me off after 89 days. So, add an extra 2 on that, so I'd be 7 if that counted, but it doesn't.
So you're directly affected by this two-tier system where you got to work 8 years to get to the top rate.
Yeah, I luckily just got to top rate after 5 years because I hired in at a very lucky time right before the 2019 contract. But there are people that I've heard that have been temporary workers for 15, 16 years, and that's ridiculous.
You think Biden, the Democrats, are doing enough for your cause? They say workers have a right to organize, but I don't really see anything beyond that.
Yeah, I can say I've voted Democrat in every election I've been a part of, but they are not doing enough either. I'm pretty sure I'll be voting third party this time. I don't think that the most pro-union president in history is living up to what he's claiming.
What more would you like him to be doing to support the union, actually put pressure on the companies?
Well, he's doing a lot of both sides. You saw Bernie here, and he was saying he wants to fight for us. He wants us to win this contract. And we've got Biden out there that's saying we want something fair for both sides. And you do at a certain point, but the message is that you want to get out there is that you're behind the working class. You're behind the UAW, and that you're fighting for what we're demanding. And I don't see Biden being strong in that message.
Right. And also, at the end of the day, if the workers gave back 10% a decade ago. So how about giving them back what they gave back?
Yeah.
These companies promised, hey, if you give a little now to help us stay alive, we'll give it back and then some. They never gave it back.
They just decided that they didn't need to hold strong to the promise that they made when we saved them. And now it's time to help us get back on our feet, and they're not willing to do it.
Last question. How do you like this strategy right now where they started with 3 plants? Obviously, they could surprise them at any moment and do more plants.
I think it's really new and really creative, and it's really it's going to help to keep the companies on their toes so they don't know what to prepare for, what's happening next. And when they can't predict it, they might get a little off kilter.
Thanks, man. What's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle, thank you. Appreciate it. So that's another. Hey, I feel like Mick Jagger here. Everybody's coming up. And that's because we have been covering this not when it happened like the rest of them. I've been covering this for weeks. Come on over. Say hello. What's your name?
Joe King. I watch him every day.
Every day? Wow.
Yeah, he's a very positive guy. To me, he's a Democrat. He should be a president because he felt our pain. You know, sometimes you got to fight for what you want. This is a fight, not just for me, not just for you, but for our children and our children's children. I'm tired of working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. And I work at Chrysler. It's sad. You know, so that's all I have to say, my brother.
And you know, it's interesting because the Stellantis, which, you know, became Chrysler's, the COO who was bargaining, he apparently was on vacation for 2 weeks at his second mansion in Mexico while he was bargaining, while you're working 2 jobs and being disrespected. So isn't that the whole thing?
Well, sometimes it's like a sport. Sometimes you got good players, sometimes you got bad players. The big 3 right now are the bad players. We don't need them on my team.
You said something, and I feel it. I feel like this is bigger than just the auto industry. What happens here could really affect other workers, other unions, etc.
Actually, this movement is going to move the country. We've been talking about middle class for over 30, 40 years. And we as a union state, we never did nothing about it. We always have corrupt people in office. Now we have somebody that's willing to fight. I'm willing to fight. And like I told my co-workers, this is a war. Look at us as we are the United States, the big 3 are the enemy. We just can't go in there and throw all our cards on the table. We go over there, strategically bomb, then we go. The 3 plants they shut down, to let everybody know they have launches this week. Perfect timing with the black tie event with the auto show, perfect timing. A lot of guests were with us and some was without us. But they don't really understand because it's $1,000 to get in there.
And that's what it was. I was like, what are all these people so dressed up? There's all these ladies in ball gowns and guys in tuxedos. It's for the auto show. Ah, so it's the wealthy aristocrats in there and the proletariat out here. Do you think President Biden's doing enough? I mean, I've heard a lot of talk, and he says he's the most pro-labor president, but all I've heard is really they have a right to organize, not as much. He's not out here with the workers, obviously. And he also did not push the PRO Act, which would have helped unions organize, actually put some penalties out there for union busters, etc. By your long pause, I get a sense.
All I can say is sleepy. That's all I get out of it. He's of the know, but he don't know. It's a difference. And I come from the city of Detroit 51 years. I've seen it at the top. I've seen it when it go down. And now I'm seeing the turnaround. But if you actually go through the city, where all the hard workers work, it looks terrible. And another thing about we're not asking too much, and I put this in financial ways. We have a housing market crash, right? That's because we can't afford them. Now, I tell all my workers, we can afford that or get paid to where we could take care of our homes and our cars, our children. The housing market will come up. Middle class runs to work. And I have a lot of, we'll say, youth. You know where I get that from. They're not understanding because they're used to handouts. So me as an open mind talkative person, I try to open their minds. Because I grew up where I didn't have anything. I'm gonna be real, I didn't have anything. So my mother was uneducated. She ended up getting her doctorate. She was a retired teacher. My dad worked at Ford, but he got laid off in '83 over the same thing. Equal rights, equal pay. And it's sad to see so many people want to be the one class, which to me is the hatred class. They hate everybody that's not with them. But we actually with them because I have a famous quote, put it like this. A happy employee is an excellent employee. He will break his back for you because he's happy. And nobody's happy now. Nobody. I came at Chrysler as a temp. So a lot of temps don't understand because I'm full-time now. But I let them know the stroke. I say, listen, I came in at 3 days a week. A Monday, Friday, and Saturday. Some weeks I get 1 day. I had to make do. But you be working 4 or 5 days a week and you're not willing to come out and fight. Right. And that's like disheartening because my grandparents fought in wars, in peacetime, we're fighters. So it's a fight. We're not about to get knocked out. We're about to be on top. And corporate greed do have to stop.
Well, one thing you said kind of strikes me. Your dad got laid off 40 years ago in 1983. It's 2023. I'd say not much has changed at any of these companies.
And at one point, he was upset with the UAW because it was corrupt. Everybody was. Now we have a leader that's willing to fight for us. We got to be willing to fight with him. And that's all I'm saying. It's like when Martin Luther King walked. Didn't nobody believe he was going to walk on Savannah, Georgia? But he did it. It's our time.
What's your name again?
Joe.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
He was looking for a cameraman.
Thank you, sir. So, wow. What a night, man. I'm feeling good. Listen, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but if you're watching, we're going to be here. I'm hoping for as long as it takes. We will stay as long as we can be funded. So if you're watching, well, let me see how many people. I don't know how many people are watching. Wow, 1,000 people? I ask you kindly but passionately, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. More importantly, if you got $5 to $10 a month, I don't need everyone passing me 100, but that would be nice. If you got $5 to $10 a month, sign up right this minute as a Status Coup member. If you've never heard of us, that's for a reason. Because I don't have any money to advertise. I don't have any banks giving us money. I don't have any fossil fuckers giving us money. No pharmaceutical companies. The military-industrial complex ain't giving us money. The donors to both parties are not giving us money. Our funding to travel to places like Detroit and Flint and Cop City in Atlanta, which we've been twice, and East Palestine, where Lewis, my colleague, has been 4 times over the last 6 months, covering the detonation of chemicals over that town. Our funding comes from you, and it's as simple as $5 to $10 a month. So if you got $5 to $10 a month, please sign up. This is how we are able to go out on the ground. Flights, hotels, rent-a-car, food. It costs money. John behind the camera, myself, other reporters like Lewis and Tina. We're not just talking from a studio. We're out here talking to the people. And you would not get these stories from CNN. You're not going to get these people's voices out there through the New York Times. You're certainly not going to get them out there on CNBC. That I could tell you. Fucking Jim Cramer saying, hey, shut down the plant, send them to Mexico. Okay? We are here not so you could listen to me, but so you could listen to all these fine people. We were live a couple hours ago from the Ford Assembly Plant in Wayne, Michigan. We're going to be live again there tomorrow. I think we're going to go to Toledo as well, which is about an hour away. In Toledo, the Stellantis. Yeah, I think Stellantis is on strike in Toledo. And we just want to amplify these voices because the truth is, part of the reason that we have had the status quo in this country, and when I say status quo, I mean a fucking economic hellscape in this country for 40 years, and economic Hunger Games in this country for 40 years, is because we have media that has literally been hijacked by corporations and ghouls. And those corporations and those mannequins in makeup, the anchors, the journalists, they exist to serve as public relations professionals for the corporate CEOs. They exist to cover these stories from the perspective of, oh, well, the economy is going to get hurt by these workers going on strike. Oh, well, how are the companies going to stay competitive? Oh, you know, these companies are struggling to make the electric vehicle transition as they do another $500 million in stock buybacks. Do you know, I believe it was Ford did another $500 million? Stellantis did another $500 million in stock buybacks as they go to the cameras whining that they can't compete. That is what you call theft. This is theft. When you see that chart, the income inequality chart, you know, the red line going all the way up, and the blue line at the bottom, that's you. That is called the grand larceny of the last 40 years, or what the Democrats and Republicans call a strong economy whenever one is in power. The economy is not strong. The economy is people having to choose between groceries or medicine. The economy is people choosing between the electric bill or the utilities bill. I could go on and on. Sure, some people are doing well, but by and large, you got most workers that are working on, I think every single worker I spoke to today said they cannot afford the cars that they work 10 hours a day to produce. Is that a normal system in the wealthiest country on earth? It's wealthy for the fucking scumbags that are wearing tuxedos going to the I think it's a banquet at the auto show. I came down the elevator going through this rally, and there was all these, women. I got nothing against these people, but they were in ball gowns, and the men were in tuxedos, and they're going to some banquet connected to the auto show. There's plenty of money. These car companies have plenty of money. And frankly, I think if they would meet the union's goal of 40% wage increases, they would actually make even more money, because I think the productivity would go through the roof. But you have happy workers who are not having to work that second job. Happy workers who can actually go to a doctor. Happy workers who maybe could go out to dinner with their family once in a blue moon. When workers come to work happy and aren't struggling, they tend to produce better. That's not my opinion. There is data and research to back it up. So, bottom line, listen, this strike could last a week. This strike could last 4 months. I have no idea. At the moment, I think it's going to last longer than past strikes. In 2019, the General Motors strike lasted 40 days. I believe this can go longer than that, and I'll tell you why. Because this is not just about wages. This is about a caste system. This is about temporary workers, which shouldn't exist. This is about a two-tier system where this person next to me is making $32, and this person over here is making $16, and they're doing the same exact thing. This is about cost of living. They could say inflation is getting better, but I got news for you. Gas is near $4 in a lot of places on the East Coast, and it's much higher on the West Coast. Groceries is still very high. There's been a 20-year gentrification. Excuse me. There's been a 20-year inflation. It's called gentrification, and they're not doing anything about that. Rent through the roof, housing through the roof. To get a mortgage these days, good luck. So I think this is going to go on for a while. I know some workers were disappointed. They wanted all the plants to go out on strike at once. I understand that. That would be a lot better for me to cover than 3 plants. But, there's realities also. They have an $825 million strike fund. So if everyone goes on strike at all 3 companies at the same time and you pay per person $500 a week, you could bleed through that money very quickly. That's just the reality. And by the way, $500 a week is not enough. At least it's something, but you can't really live off of $500 a week for a long time. By the way, California, I just read, they're talking about possibly changing the law so that if you are a union member on strike, you could be eligible for unemployment, which would be huge and be a huge, huge advantage for all union workers if that spread. Obviously, that's not going to spread in right-to-work states, but in bluer states, you never know. But bottom line, we want to continue covering this on the ground. This is not my first rodeo. If you're new here, this is not my first rodeo. I was on the ground in Iowa freezing my fucking ass off in 2021 covering the John Deere strike. I was in Buffalo covering the nurses strike. I was just in Jersey covering a nurses strike. I was in Buffalo covering the Starbucks union drive before they won. I was in Staten Island 7 or 8 times covering the Amazon union drive for a year before they won, when it looked like this is an uphill battle. So all these outlets show up when they strike. All these outlets show up when they win. None of them are out there a year early, when there's no advantage to be out there a year early. There's not, millions of people watching a year early. If I'm lucky, there's a couple hundred people watching when we're out there a year early. But that's when it matters. That's when you got to show what's going on, because most people have no fucking idea what's going on in this country. I've always said, in my travels, and I've been around the country for 8 years, I've met liberals, I've met conservatives, I've met libertarians, I've met hippies, I've met progressives, I've fucking met lunatics. And if you kind of group them all together, the one common denominator, most people, of course, there's a lot of people who just are terrible, but most people are not lacking compassion. Most people really, truly do not know what's going on. From the baby boomers all the way down to the TikTokers. Most people do not know what's going on. They're not being informed by the mass media. They're not being informed by newspapers. They're not being informed, really, by cable news. They're certainly not being informed by, TikTok and all this. They don't know that Flint still does not have clean water after a decade. They don't know that East Palestine, Ohio, all these residents are sick. They have no idea that in cities like Detroit and Flint and cities in Cleveland and Milwaukee and this and that, people are full-time workers. Many of them are sleeping in their cars. I've met them. So that's why it's really important to be out here. Please, please, if you can, I'm not beyond begging. Sign up today. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of outlets that have much nicer studios than I, that have much bigger budgets than I, that, have mass crews, better equipment, but none of them are willing. None of them are willing to go out in the trenches on the ground as much as we do on a shoestring budget. So please, please, if you can, support us, statuscoup.com/join. Let me just give another shout out. I think I got emails to read too, super chats. But let me give a shout out if we got any new members. I'm still getting over that guy. He was incredible. Welcome new member Beth signed up. Welcome Aretha just signed up. Welcome Robert signed up. Welcome Christy and Margaret. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new members through the website while I've been live. We probably got some YouTube members too. Let me read super chats if I have them in my email. Hold on. All right. $25 donation from William. You could also donate to help fund this reporting at statuscoup.com/donate. I hope this helps with some things, Jordan. Don't really have a lot of money left anymore. Very good show so far on the UAW. I'm sure it'll get better as time goes by. All we need is everyone else to get on board with them. Then we'll have some serious change in this country. That's a great point because you got Blue Cross Blue Shield workers are on strike. I think there's electrical workers that just went on strike. And a lot of these unions are supporting each other. And that's what we need. We've had 40 years of unions being bruised and battered in this country and decimated. We need unions to work together. There's strength in numbers. $5 donation from Elisa. Is the auto worker union spread worldwide? What is your opinion on EV? And the elderly man stated that our EV grid is not capable of sustaining mass EV vehicles. Status Crew rocks. I actually want to look in more to what Doc Williams, I think his name was, says. Because he said there's a lot of fossil fuels being used to make electric vehicles. That might be true. I don't know exactly. But I actually think we're much closer to mass electrical vehicles than a lot of people think. It's just about investment. What are we investing in? If we would invest a fuck ton less in all the military bases around the world that we have, if we'd invest a fuck ton less in, all the money we give to name your fucking country we give money to that we should not be giving money to, frankly, forget that. We could just print the money. We have the money. We print money for war. We print money for a lot of things in this country. It's called modern monetary theory. We have the money. Taxpayer money does not fund everything. That's a myth. So I think if we spent the money, not just electrical vehicles, wind, solar, renewable, we could get it up and running in mass mobilization within the next 5 years, in my opinion. $10 donation from Simonia. Thank you for covering the UAW strike. CNN and Fox News and ABC and NBC are not for the people. No, they are not. Status Coup is for the people. I agree. $5 donation from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. $10 donation from Joseph. Great UAW coverage. We need this real news. New YouTube member, Michael, signed up. Thank you, Michael. Terry signed up, so that's 2 new YouTube members. Some super chats. Thomas Horder, $10. Thank you. Workers of the world unite, Thomas says. Thank you. Michael Petty, $20. Thank you, Michael. Chipping in to help the team stay on the ground. Love the work you're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grinning Goose. I do like that name, Grinning Goose. Thank you, Status Coup. Thank you, Grinning Goose, $2. Duke, $10. Thank you, Duke. Cheryl Tyler, $10. Thank you, Cheryl. Alex, $19.99. I appreciate it. Donnie, thanks for showing the rally. UAW Local 598, Flint, Michigan. I will probably be back in Flint, Michigan in the next couple days while I'm here for my 20th, get this, my 20th reporting trip to Flint. I have counted it. My first trip was in 2016, and I've been there 19 times, so the next time I'm in Flint, we'll be lucky 20. Maybe I'll see you out there. Thank you very much. Donnie, humorous, $5. Awesome show. Truly enjoyed it. I hope everyone else is going to pitch in and help these people and this channel. Humorous, you've been very generous. Thank you as always. Sensory, $10. Stand up and stand together. Radical gratitude to Status Coup. Why, thank you. A.R. Francis, $2. Thanks for being there. Absolutely. Aaron, $50. I might be a cynical prick, but I have a lot of faith in Status Coup. Anyone want to match me? Come on. My favorite types are the cynical pricks. Thank you so much for the $50, and you could have faith in me. I could have sold out a long time ago. I just don't have the ability. I'm too lazy to sell out. Thank you. Elisa, $2. Jordan got on demand, live super chat. Thank you. And wait till you, by the way, I just want to show you something. John, show this. Oh, wait. Give me the mic. I was literally on the ground like this, holding my phone up like this when Bernie was speaking at this rally. I was standing like this to try and get like this awesome, angle, and we'll post it probably tomorrow. My neck was killing me. My shoulders are killing me. I got this lady to my left kind of elbowing me, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get a third back surgery. Because I'm like a pretzel on the grass with all these people around me, and I'm just like this, trying not to shake my phone because this is amazing footage, right? Like literally on the ground. When I say on the ground, I mean here, under Bernie. So wait for that. Some people are not happy with Bernie, but it was pretty kick-ass footage, I will say that. All right. OH 1999. Gabriel Berklaga. You have opened my heart and inspired me to open my wallet. Why, thank you. Thank you, Jordan, and give him hell, UAW. Underwater Panther. Holy shit, these names. $9.99. Thank you so much. Underwater. Dave L., $5. This was a good one. Well done. Coup team. Christine Bark, $9.99. Thank you for your excellent work. Stellar interviews and vibe. Thank you. $50 donation to our website. Again, you could donate to our website, statuscoup.com/donate. Thank you for your excellent work. Thank you, Jordan, and watching the live coverage of the UAW Strike rally. $20 donation from Ryan. Keep up the good work. Love it. Thank you, Ryan. Aretha signed up as a new member. Beth signed up as a new member. And new YouTube member, Margaret. So we are moving and shaking. A lot of new members today, which is really, really awesome. All right. $25 donation from Geraldine says, wish I could do more. Hey, any amount really makes a difference. Thank you so much.